That's it.
There she is. Hi, Missy. Missy.
Always love cats and dogs.
Yes. And who was it that said, oh, it was Linda who had Missy before us. Yeah. When I saw her the second time, she said that Missy's gone from the pound to the palace. Yeah. And she got that right. Yet? Yes, I'm recording. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Now I'm going to zoom into our flowers. Thank you, Joe and Laurie, for...
Yeah, the baby was born in the pound until she was rescued, but she spent her younger days in a cage.
Yeah. Now, we've discovered, Linda told us that Missy didn't like other cats, and her original name from Linda was Sassy because of Missy's behaviour around other cats. Yeah. Well, we experienced that about 3 times here.
You're leaving, are you? That enough? Where are you going?
Missy has woken us up. These blood-curdling, cat-brawling screams and sound. I just... I can do it. It's alright, she actually thinks there's something going on now. But anyway, that was Missy. 3 times it's happened. My first thought was she was having a nightmare. On the 3rd time, there's a cat that comes around at night time out on the deck. And she sees it through the glass and goes nuts, blood-curdling, caterwauling. But that's Missy with Yah. And now over to the flowers, back to Joe and Laurie. Thank you for another beautiful bouquet of flowers that arrived yesterday.
Perfect timing, wasn't it?
It was perfect time. And that was the reason that they were sent, in remembrance. But we'll talk about that in a moment. I want to zoom in. And we've got Peter's coin there. The 1974 Vatican coin of Yah with his arm around 2 of the apostles. And of course we've got the shroudy Yah from Haggadah. 2013, after Pope Benedict had announced him. And I'll zoom out so we can see in his fullness. Once I get the camera angle up again, oh, there we go. Looking good, babe, in your pink.
My dad, I didn't choose this shirt.
No, I did, because pink is a neurotransmitter. And it's calming. All right.
So click your
the screen around.
You've got we've got some questions, right?
Oh, yes, Don's. That's not it. I'm not taking it.
This is from Don, a friend of Rez in the States, and he's asked some very good questions the last few days, and I've been trying to answer as in depth as I can. Basically, how I feel about the world, well, I can tell you it's not good. I'm amazed how designers have taken over the world to the point of what have you done to it? On the table.
Sorry, let's see. I was calling it the entire time, that letter over there, which is from the Fraser Grove Council. Alright, hi guys. so long. It's a bit like the elevator, isn't it? The escalator. We have this thing. If we go into the RSL for lunch, they have escalators. And yeah, always, ever since I found him, he's always stood 1 or 2 steps below me so that I can plant a kiss on his lips.
You should see the look from the old women going down the other restaurant.
And the blokes. Some of them sometimes comment, but it's been a while, crocodiles, since we've done one of these videos, and it's because of Don, as Yah's explained, his email. We're going to get straight into it. Yah's working on his latest PowerPoint, more brilliance and the speed of light and all kinds of things. We won't discuss it here. It ends up being too long, but we're going to answer Don's questions. I'll read the first part of the email, bits of it, and then Don's questions. He says, I see that people are being given in full dose the push to bring out those parts of themselves that they used to hide from others. From one perspective, I see that they're being manipulated to stir their anger, but on another perspective, I know that it's not creating that anger, it's just bringing out what was already there, just suppressed. We are seeing their true faces with masks taken off. Now, we're in the judgment, and yes, a lot of people are being unmasked, both at the top of the heap and down on the street level. And I would have to say that that's why things are so insane. Many of you know and are commenting how daily the insanity, particularly within the USA, is increasing. And, this is why masks are being taken off. Now, Don has known about us for some time because Rez has told him, but he's had an amazing experience himself, and he's a man who likes to dig deep. And in his search, anytime that Rez has said to him that Rez proclaims your divinity and authenticity every time I speak to him, and my reply is usually, if he is Rez, I wouldn't at all be disappointed. And then he goes on to say, after years of contemplation and searching, I gave in on that search a few weeks ago and accepted Jesus Christ. I see the world burning, hello, we all know what's going on, and humanity eating itself literally, and I believe that means something. I'm not superstitious, but I believe in signs. And he goes on to say, I want to believe in you. I want to believe that this world consumed by treachery, the answer to all is here. I want to believe, but I see so many being used by others, even though I don't see that coming from you. Yes.
We've got the lawnmower fire next door now.
Right. Yeah, actually people love the background noises, whether they're birds or lawnmowers, because it's so natural. Yes, we've got to get rid of the echo chambers. We'll open the doors in spite of the lawnmower guy being next door. We've had all of the windows closed and the air conditioning going 24/7 for the last 10 days, keeping out the smoke of the fires and cleaning up the air. We've put our own filter on the outside of our air conditioning, and Yah's a bit like a canary. His moustache has been yellow for months, no matter what he's done to get rid of it. And it's the air that he's been breathing, the chemtrail there, all that kind of thing, but his moustache has not turned yellow since we've had the extra filter on the air conditioning. So back to Don, he says, but I see so many others being used by others. Even though I don't see that coming from you, it's still a hard step to take. And yes, it is, based on all of the deceptions, the delusion about how the Lord would come. It is a big step to take for many others. The pure in heart shall see God. End of story. The shroud of Turin, the image, and that's what it's for, this era of technology. So if you want to keep it really simple, the KISS method, then that's it. I watch your videos and they're so full of information. It's amazing the way you put it all together. But I do have some questions. And he says, number one, what is the ultimate name?
Paradise on the earth. It's as simple as that. If you go through the Lord's Prayer, Thy will be done on earth as it was in heaven, because it's now future. That's the promise and the whole reason for the crucifixion, to release the soul of Jesus, which was the Father, and that the Father could then project forward in time and be born as Jesus was born. Because God couldn't be born first time around because he's the Father. So now he has to become the soul of Jesus to be released, and then the soul can then reincarnate. So it's Jesus reincarnating, because everyone reincarnates. You can't kill the soul. And the whole idea of the churches is to take that all away from you, which they did in 553 BC.
AD, yeah.
And the churches today are quite insane. The Muslim Quran is insane. And it's all because of the infiltration of the 844s.
Yes, we've renamed the lovely people the 844s.
John 844, look it up. Go on, look it up. That's what it's all about.
Yes. All right, so bottom line is paradise comes to the earth, and there is a reaping, a harvesting of the 844s, and all evil, anything that offends Yah is cast out of his kingdom. I want you to, you know, when you go to the palace and you see the flag raised, that means that Elizabeth is in residence. The flag lowered, she's not there, okay? In order for a kingdom to exist, the king has to be in residence. The kingdom comes to the earth because the king is indeed on the earth becomes his footstool, literally, because he's walking around on it. Now, Don's next question, how many times have you incarnated into man? When and where?
Well, Jesus, June the 17th, 2 BC.
That was your birth date, your conception date was?
9/11, September the 11th, 3 BC.
Right.
That's what they used, 9/11, and brought down the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Yeah.
See, the devil already knows what the program is, because they were cast out of heaven. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, the devil come down to you. That's Revelation 12:12. So it took over, and it knows what the play is all about. It's like a Shakespearean play, all the world's a stage. So it knows its time is up, and in particular, we crossed over the centre line of the Milky Way galaxy, which was a phenomenal moment in time, back to where creation occurred. So the Earth, if you like, was cast out of heaven and it fell to
the south side
of the Milky Way galaxy. Now it's coming back up again at 69,000 kilometres per hour, and it's moving back into position. You'll find that if you drain water out to sink, it'll go clockwise, it'll go counterclockwise, or it'll go straight down. It changes. And that's a perfect environment for the cloud system to be not creating cyclones. Any cyclone that's created today is all caused by HAARP and
it's man-made.
It's all man-made.
Right. So the climate change, there is a change in the climate, but it's not based on the pseudoscience that the world is spewing out and trying to charge money for. That is all a hoax. Yah's been telling me.
See, originally, they got the idea from me, really, because I told them what was going to happen. And then they come up with this carbon tax. And they brainwashed the world into believing that plants don't like carbon. They love carbon. The higher the carbon contact, the greater the plant will grow.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's been experiments done where they've had twice the carbon content in a container, and the plant will grow twice.
Carbon dioxide.
It gives off oxygen. That's the whole point.
Yes, and we breathe in oxygen. So when they're talking about, for example, I saw a headline: a machine to remove carbon dioxide. That's all to deplete the oxygen on the planet, which is what we breathe. So what are they really trying to do but get human beings?
You will not always see, if you watch these different movies that come out, that Hitler was the greatest monster of all time. He wasn't. It was just the other way around. What he was saying is that unless you stop these 844s, the world will be a lifeless sphere floating in the ether of space. So he's quite right. He's a very, very clever man. And things happened during the war, of course, and all of the world was against him because the lovely people declared war on Hitler in New York. This brought in England first up. When the massacres that were happening in Poland, Germany went into stop the massacres.
Because they were against the German people that had been annexed and called the Danzig after World War I.
So he stopped that in 18 days, and then the setup was that there was an agreement between England and Poland, because they got the people in Poland, the soldiers, communists, to kill all the Germans with the atrocities. Hitler tried to ask the nations what they're going to do about it, and they did nothing. So he went in and took it out.
And it was to liberate his people, the Germans.
To liberate the Germans.
Right. So to answer your question, first time conception, September 11th, 3 BC. Birth as Jesus, June 17th, 2 BC at 8:01 in the morning. The Star of Bethlehem was the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus at that time.
Now M42, which is in the sword or the belt of Orion, it blinks on and off. I'll cover that in the next PowerPoint. And the Magi followed it, blinking on and off, till finally it illuminated and stayed to light beams directly over Bethlehem.
Right. Now, second time, of course, conception, April the 6th, 1943, reborn January the 11th, 1944 at 2:22 a.m. That is the day and the hour in Australia. We always put the day first. It's the 11th of January 1944 at 2:22 a.m., which, as Jesus, when the apostles asking, well, you know, when will your second come? And he adds as well, the angels of heaven don't even know. Only the Father himself knows the day and the hour. The day and the hour is the 11th of January 1944 at 2:22 a.m. Sydney, Australia time. Sydney this time is the biblical Ephraim or Bethlehem, if you like, and fulfilling the prophecy that he came like a thief in the night, 2:22 a.m.
The chronographer of time is the moon, and the date of June 1702 BC, the rise of the sun to the rise of the moon was 888 minutes, and that's Jesus in Greek gematria, and the same for January 11th, 1944. From the rise was 8:55 minutes, same in Bethlehem, and 33 minutes the rise of the moon.
Right.
So 888.
Okay.
Then it goes on. You do my genetics, children born, blah, blah, blah.
Right, now, we're trying to avoid the numbers because they are so remarkable, and the measuring of Yah's creation are the miracles of today. At the time of Jesus, that was for that time. Anybody can heal themselves today, literally. The information is out there. Cancers can be cured. Most things can be healed when you have the knowledge to do it. So the miracles of healing for then, not so today, because literally anybody can do it. There are many people out there, including ourselves, who've been telling how to overcome your diseases, etc. So this time is the measuring of the creation, and every single measure and is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, literally, and Yah is always led to them because he is who he is, and connected to the realm where the angels who know the beginning from the end are giving him information that he needs to arrive at a particular moment of time. So number 3 is, what is the heart of God? Meaning, what drives...
Love and compassion, that's what all about.
And what brings you the most joy?
Most joy, a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But every day I wake up, we're a day closer. So although I'm very saddened by what's going on in the world, I know that each baby that's born is getting closer to the last baby being born, if you like, and that signals the end time is here. So it's all to do with reincarnation, and the baby comes back. You get 7 chances at life. Some people only need 2, right, like you.
Mm-hmm.
So
now,
God is love, God is consciousness, God is intelligence.
Don, as Jesus, he upbraided the adults at the time who were trying to stop the children from coming to him, and he said, suffer the little children, meaning put up with them and hinder them not, meaning don't restrain them. And then he said, for to such as them, meaning the children, belongs the kingdom of God. And then he went on to say that unless you become like a small child, you will not see nor enter the kingdom of God, because adults are so full of their own erroneous teaching. They believe every doctrine under the sun that is of the devil, And so when he gets there, they don't recognise the blatantly obvious, which is the image on the Shroud of Turin. And that Pope Benedict should be the standard for the world. He had no idea about prophecy or his part in it. Amazing. He had no idea about the measuring of the creation. And the numbers, quite frankly, fried his brain, as many of you do say. However, he did recognise Yah's photograph right beside the Shroud of Turin.
When we was talking to the Pope, I ended up telling him jokes.
Stories, funny stories.
Funny stories.
And he laughed,
in my
made him feel young.
Some of them are hilarious, right? But he enjoyed that as opposed to telling me about the numbers. And I can understand why you don't want to hit the numbers.
Yeah.
But from a scientific point of view, the numbers is what proves me.
Yes. And the Shroud of Turin, the image is for this generation where they've absolutely proven that it is literally the only miracle that is not repeatable.
It's a photograph.
It's a photograph.
It's a photograph of the soul, which is the old man within the body of Jesus. 69-year-old man. 69
is when Pope Benedict recognised the image. And of course, he's the reincarnate of the Apostle Peter, so it's got to be him, because it was Peter the first time when, "Who do you say that I am?" He said, "Thou art the Christ." Hello, and that's exactly what Pope Benedict did in this position, the highest position on the planet, really, as the head of the church. And he got, for the second time, he announced to the world in his apostolic letter, he tried to do it publicly on RAI TV, "Thou art the Christ." And he was overjoyed, delighted and honoured.
Next question.
Next question. Number 4, what do you want from us? Meaning, what can we do to experience the fullness of your plan?
I'd like for you all, if you could, to put yourself in my position, being on the earth now, I'm 75 years old, of looking at everything that man has come up with is so stupid. When you talk about space, stupid. Going to the moon, stupid. Can't happen, didn't happen. The obvious thing about the moon is when Armstrong steps off. Who the hell was out on the moon's surface? The first man on the moon was on the surface, taking a photograph of Armstrong coming down the ladder. Right? Hello? It's only, 250 degrees hotter than your stove, boiling eggs in the morning, right? That's the surface temperature of the moon in the sunlight. So they stood there for 12 hours, like 12 hours on a stove? Are you joking?
So what?
They had air conditioning. No, they didn't.
What can Don do now that he's coming to the... Okay.
If someone wants to talk to you and you point him in my direction, great. But I wouldn't go out banging on doors trying to get people to listen, because they'll mock you.
At this point in time, Don, just get on with your life. Go about your normal everyday business. Rest in peace, literally. You don't have to die to rest in peace. Rest in life knowing that Yah is here, and in spite of everything that's going on the planet, it's all going to be sorted and
all that's happening had already happened in heaven. It was played out. The Michael the Archangel up there plays the Jesus part, defeated, goes to the cross, everything is the same. And then the devil was cast to the earth with his angels. John and wrote the book of Revelation, or dictated to him. And look up Revelation 12:12.
Yeah. So it's all playing out in time.
It's very, very close.
On the earth now, in paradise.
Just had to have a card change. So, where was I?
Well, we were talking. we were talking about what do you want from us? Meaning, what can we do to experience the fullness of
go to bed,
our
have a sleep, and know that it's near. Simple as that. It's near. Every day is a little closer. All these things that are happening have got to happen. It's already prophecy. I'm not real keen on thinking about it from the sense of the dreadful things that they're doing. But it's just sadness. So a creator, from a personal perspective, myself, love, consciousness, vulnerability, love, all the things that you are as a small child. And you're all made in my image. If you have empathy with what I'm saying to you, I don't think you'd like my job. It's not very pleasant. But it will be. Because I have to know everything, good and evil. I have to know it all. And protect the innocent to come. That's the babies. Little children. Protect them from their parents, really. Worldwide. I mean, I've been to Africa, Mexico, you name it, all those places that are dreadful, India. People are so stupid, it's unbelievable.
Is that the children have become trapped within the belief
They're trapped
system
within whatever these stupid universities that are controlled by tenure. It's amazing.
Or the religious beliefs.
Oh, religion,
oh,
give me a break. I think God's an idiot. But it's basically all these religions think God's an idiot. He wants to blood sacrifice. I mean, it's so stupid, can you believe it? But that's what the devil does. So, it's dreadful. Being me is dreadful. I have to fix it. It takes time. I've got to pull back the horses to run away from an open door in a barn. They're off in all directions. Unbelievable. What else is there to talk about? That it?
That's pretty much it. What's it like to be God? I think you answered it.
Right. Yeah, not happy. Responsibility is enormous.
Sleepless night.
Think of it like flying a 747 packed with children on board and you've got to land the thing in a hurricane. Something like that.
Speaking of which, you have your mariner's license, your captain's mariner's license now.
That's right. So it looks like I have to get a boat shortly. 50 metres will do.
I think you'll have to build it, babe, at this rate.
I always thought, you know, that a billionaire would watch and believe and then get behind. No, that happened.
Well, it holds that a rich man cannot enter. It's impossible for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And probably the most frustrating from Yah's perspective, I know from my perspective, is that of all of the wealthy people on the planet who call themselves Christian, and they're cracking on, praying to their... Talking about masked, Don, you talk about people's masks being removed. Well, Yah has always said that people within the churches are worshipping Lucifer with the mask of Jesus on, and that's exactly what has been going on. And that's where you find all of the rich people, because they believe that they've been blessed by Jesus.
They'll come up with some excuse why they're
Yah,
rich.
the Father, and or when they wouldn't recognise, well, they haven't recognised.
Look at George Bush Jr. He's supposed to be a Christian. His mother was the daughter of Alistair Crowley. Hello?
This is the lies and the deception.
Most evil man that's ever lived, according to...
The gross darkness that covers the earth is the falling of the Christians to believe, basically because they're trapped within the Bible. Yeah, they're trapped within the Freemason Bible. And so the slaughter in Palestine continues.
Yeah, that's got to happen, otherwise Jesus can't get back. That's what it boils down to. You've got to kill all the Palestinians, because if it can't do that, Jesus can't come back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've done this. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Baby. And yeah, Yah's continuing to work on another epic, all based on the speed of light. This is, Don, you're asking, you want Yah to open up and all the rest of it. Look, I'm his wife. He doesn't want to go there. The sleepless nights, the anger, the smouldering anger that is constantly within him. And I can tell you, if that anger explodes or is released, it's watch out. You don't want him to go there. I don't want him to go there. Everything is handled. It is on a timeline. Yah has talked about the vinyl record, beginning from the end. You know, you can place that stylus at any point along the groove, etc. We are so close to the end of the record that we are looking forward to beyond the end, when we can get upon, first of all, building paradise on the earth for the sake of the children. Doesn't mean he'll be ruling from some red velvet throne in London. No.
What?
All of those institutions are history. But the world will know who he is, where he is, and they'll be going, yes sir, how high do you want us to jump? If Yah says no, it's a veto. There's no argument. There's no democracy in the sense that people take a vote. That is the worst kind of government because, as you know,
you've got to get the smartest people in government that who can take orders.
As administrators.
And then if they step out of line, you sack them.
Right. And that's the prerogative of the king. That's why he's called the King of Kings. The only successful government is that benevolent king who is the father figure that has a heart for every single one of his children, who in the world of royalty are called subjects, etc. To this point, that hasn't been realised upon the earth. And the closest, I suppose, was Muammar Gaddafi, Libya, the way the Libyans lived under his leadership. He was not given a title, he was their leader by... That's the position that the people wanted him in.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Okay. Later, games.
Hasta la vista, baby. You stopping?